Hi, I'm international show jumper Schuyler Riley, and I am here with my 9-year-old mare today, Centelina. My principle on equitation, my theory is, it is what the basic equitation form that we've been taught in the George Morris system. The position is there for a purpose. And so what I start with all riders, and my mare, she's a chestnut mare, she doesn't really love to stand still. So I usually start with riders at a standstill, but I'll do it myself now with the walk. You get in your half seat, and when you're in your half seat, you should have a straight line perpendicular to the ground from your ankle through your hip bone to the back of your shoulder blade. And that basically means that you're directly over the center of your horse. And in order to test that your lower leg is in the right position, you can open and close your hip angle. Right now I'm walking with an open hip angle. So the hip angle is the top of the thigh to the top of the hip. So that's basically 180 degrees. Now I'm going to close my hip angle. You notice as I close my hip angle, which is here to here, I'm also closing my knee angle, so my leg stays underneath me, and it's very easy for me to stay out of the saddle. What happens to most riders is they lose their position, their lower leg goes forward, and then you fall back in the back of the tack. Whenever you fall in the back of the tack, you're actually activating the gas pedal. So everything you do as a rider in the right position, you send a better clear signal. So you're only sending the correct signals when you're here. If you fall back here when you're trying to tell them to slow down, you're telling them to go and slow down at the same time. And when I work with riders, I will work with an opening and closing their hip angle at the walk, trot, and canter. And like I mentioned on my stallion and on Robin, I teach all my horses that when I have a contact with the seat bones, they're supposed to be slowing down. When I'm out of the tack, they're supposed to be going forward. And you'll notice at this exercise that I just did, I talked a lot about making sure that you follow your release to the landing and then try to connect with the horse as they take the first stride. Because the horses, and I can actually demonstrate this in the canter, in a small circle here, the horse's head and neck moves back and forth as it canters. So your elbow, to keep the constant line of communication, has to move back and forth. And what you want to do when you want to collect the canter is you actually want to move your elbow a little less and make it, as the horse's head is coming back to you, you pull. But you have to follow just a little as their head's going forward, or they get resentful because you're interfering with their balance. So that's what I also work on in this little exercise, is that the rider's timing of the release is following to the ground, but then connecting and telling them whether you want the 3 or the 4. And so again, position with a purpose.